My animals are predominantly rescues, and so I have dogs, cats, and horses behind me, and potbelly pigs. I've been doing this for about almost 30 years, doing rescue. Usually, what happens, the animals that come to me, it's the end of the line, meaning either they're deemed unadoptable for some reason, aggressive or something like that, or they're ill. So I do a lot of palliative care. The ones that I have now are all good, except one of my dogs is a little bit ill, but she's okay.
Have you been doing this kind of work?
About 30 years. Yeah, I went away from it for a long time and did other things and worked in dry cleaning for 18 years. But I've had a pet supply store. I've had a doggy daycare for 5 years in Ottawa, which was really successful. And we're going to start doing that out here actually too. So once the COVID, all this, everything opens up again.
When did you discover that you were able to communicate with animals?
My earliest recollection is when I was 18 months old. Yeah, we had a neighbor. I was born in Toronto, and we had a neighbor who had a big Newfoundlander, and I just knew I could talk to him. I used to get very upset when they'd let the dog out to go to the bathroom because I was having a conversation, and my parents used to tell me I'd get very agitated, and I just could hear him. I could just understand what he was saying. His name was Sam. I have a picture actually in my kitchen of us together, and yeah, I just could hear him. I could just understand instinctually. It just came to me, and then as a kid, you're very open, so you're never, nobody's telling you, well, no, that's not right, or and I'd have imaginary friends, but they were actually not imaginary friends. They were actually entities that I could see as well.
Spirits?
Yeah, I would say spirit. Yeah, yeah, I could see um, sort of misty things, or I could see shadows and things like that, or just movement. With
Is it
animals or people,
words, images, feelings?
I get everything in different ways. So sometimes I get a clear message, I hear a word, or I'll hear a name. Sometimes it's just a feeling, it's like this inner knowing. Sometimes it is, I have to kind of interpret the message. I have to interpret the message because I'll see like a picture, or it'll be something from my own life. Because sometimes, especially people who have crossed, um, they're sometimes it's harder for them to come through if they've been gone a long time, or if they're not a very strong spirit. Animals, I usually just get a feeling. It's very strong though. The connection is, unless you felt it, it's hard to explain. But what I have done for people is, if they want to know if their animal has an illness, if they're happy, or if they've been rescued, they want to know what happened before, so that they can handle the behavior, because a lot of times it's a sad situation where there's been abuse. So the animal will come in, and then I can talk to them and tell the person what happened to the animal, so then we can work from there. Well, it happens to me all the time. My mother always laughs and says, you talk to them just like you're talking to a person, because I do, because I really feel that they actually know what I'm saying. Um, so it's just a really strong connection. It's just a look, or they get silly. I'll say something to them because I know what they're trying to tell me. So it's very beneficial when I've had rescue animals, though. It's been a great help for me to know what they've been through, so that I can help them. Otherwise, you don't know why they're behaving a certain way, and it really helps.
Does anyone else in your family have these abilities?
I believe so. My mother, for sure, and I think my late father did too. Um, but I think it's genetic. I think it is passed down. Yeah.
Yeah. Do some animals not answer back?
Well, my mosquitoes around here don't talk to me. Every life is worthy, and it serves a purpose, right? But yeah, some are closed off, because it's like some animals are here to be more of a healer, or they're here to help us with something, and some of them are just here to be our pets and be fun and whatever. Um, Yeah, I've had a few that won't. They'll be like people. They'll just kind of turn their heads away and don't want to talk, and that's okay. You have to respect that too, though. So
Do animals ever lie?
I know. Uh-uh.
Straightforward, right to the point.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Yep. No.
How can people improve their relationships with their animals and pets?
Um. Well, I think you just have to love them unconditionally, like they love us, and treat them with respect. A lot of people don't. There's a lot of animal abuse, which is horrible. I've seen some horrible, horrible things doing rescue, particularly with horses, just horrific. Um, so, yeah, you just got to, yeah, just respect them and love them. hmm
And do you think everyone possesses this power?
Um, I think people have intuition. Everybody has intuition. I don't think we tap into our brain as much as we could. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a pretty low percentage of what we actually use our brain for. I think that I think you can learn certain things. I've given workshops on how to communicate with your animals, but it's something that you have to be open to, and you have to. It's like believing in God. Either you have faith and just say yes, there is God. It's the same kind of thing. You just have to have that trust, and if you don't have that trust, then you won't really believe.
Have you ever been able to astral project?
Yes, I do it frequently, and I do it at night. Yes, I travel a lot.
Tell
Yes.
me about some of the places you go and some of the things you see.
Um, I believe that sometimes I'm going to the other side. And when from a long time when I was a child, I would go to something that looked like a hotel lobby, and I was always helping people pack bags or pack boxes. So to me, I think that I was helping them cross. I think it was kind of a symbolic thing. You you have to learn how to ground your energy and to block it out, because if I used to go into when I first started doing this professionally, I'll say, um, I wasn't grounding my energy properly, so that I would be overwhelmed and I would be really exhausted after I did readings. I used to work for a rescue group, and I used to do like upwards of like 100 to 200 readings. Bam, bam, bam. Just, they were quick readings, but it was really exhausting. The first time I did it, I was sick for 3 days afterwards.
Wow.
Energetically, it just took it out of me. So now I know how to block because it's always there. It never really goes away, but yeah, you just kind of have to say, no, not now.
This question.
Did recently actually have a kind of a horrific experience where I think it was, I don't want to say hell because I think that our planet is kind of hell where we are, but it was a dark place. Yeah, and I don't know why I was there, but I didn't want to be there. And I tried to get myself back quickly, which was a bit of a struggle. hmm
Can you exercise these abilities and make them stronger?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How would someone do that?
You have to meditate and be grounded and connected to yourself and the God source. Um, just a lot of grounding work, yeah, and meditation for sure. Just about everything. Um,
Birds, reptiles?
yep, yep.
Reptiles?
hmm
Snakes? Any snakes?
Yeah, I've got like snakes that are out here. I've never had a pet snake, but I've had just about everything else. But yeah, they can communicate with you for sure. Um, it's not a long conversation, but it's definitely there's something there for sure. Yep.
Hey, what is your opinion on demons?
Oh boy, this could take us hours. Demons. I do believe there are dark energies for sure. I've had some experiences. I've had some experiences with this, and it's frightening. It's really frightening. It's like um, people. Like there are good people and there are bad people, right? People who have ulterior motive. But there are dark entities. There are dark entities that actually can come in and take over you as well, and that happens a lot with people who may have uh, a mental illness or something like that, or people who do a lot of heavy drugs or something like that, that's a good time for them to sneak in. And so this is another reason you have to be really grounded. But yeah, it does happen for sure. Hmm.
What's your thoughts on God?
Um, I believe that there is a higher power. I believe that we come from somewhere else. Um, and I've been through a lot in my life, so if I didn't have faith in something, I wouldn't be here probably. But yeah, I do think we originate from somewhere else though. I don't think we're of this planet. I think we came to this planet. And the God, or whatever you want to call it, um, is just a higher power.
You said we came from somewhere else.
Hmm.
Could you describe that a little bit more for me?
Well, I think it's different for different people. I think we've come from different galaxies. I truly believe that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're crazy when you say things like that," but it makes a lot of sense. Um, and I think right now, what's going on in the world, people are. Um, there's more people in the spiritual community that are talking about it more openly, because it just we're going through a test right now of being isolated and this sort of thing. And when it first happened, animals started to come back. Oceans were filling up again, and the planet was changing, and that was for us to continue, and we haven't. We've gone right back to what we were doing. But I do believe that there's a higher power that, yeah, we definitely come from somewhere else. Hmm.
What are your thoughts on the afterlife? What happens when people die?
We go to a different dimension. Definitely, because I communicate with people and animals that have crossed over. So I totally believe it. Yeah, there is something after this life. Yeah.
Is there a difference between communicating between a past pet and a past human?
No, it's energy. It's more energy. So if their energy is strong, because sometimes people will come through right away after they've passed away, and sometimes they won't because they're in a holding place or they're getting used to being on the other side or whatever. No, it's just about energy. Yeah, and I think we're more equal. Well, I can't really say that either because sometimes, but no, no, I don't think it's intelligent. I don't think it has to do with intelligence.
Favorite stories from your childhood that would kind of relate to what we're talking about today?
Um, like as far as communicating with spirit, or it happens all the time, so it's hard to. I think one thing was my childhood friend who passed away from cystic fibrosis um, in 2001 when we were little girls. We had a lot of spirit communication. She was very in tuned as well because I think because she had a short, she knew, well, she had a longer life than they expected. She was supposed to pass away at 9 and she lived to be 36, 35, 36. So we often saw spirits, whether at my house or her house. So we always had a connection. So that's a good memory from childhood.
So could you see spirits hanging over someone, inside someone? You said it was like a shadow.
Sometimes it was a shadow. A lot of times it's just feeling something walk by or move. Sometimes there's orbs. You can see light. Sometimes it's just a feeling that there's somebody there. Sometimes you can't see anything, but you can feel it. You get a chill. I had a business partner years ago, and we used to go clear homes. This is before it was, really popular and on TV and YouTube and stuff. And so we had a couple of situations where I actually had an entity. It felt like it was on my back, and it was heavy and it was dark. But the neat thing was that we sent it to cross, and it was met with a lot of love, and we saw this light streaming through the window, and it was a different energy. So yeah, it was really interesting.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Um, have you ever dealt with an animal or a person having a demon?
Yes. I have to be careful what I say because it was in a relationship that was an abusive relationship. But when this person, let's say, I have to be careful how I say. Oh my goodness. Joey?
He did a rollover
Oh,
and then
gee.
hit the
Oh,
fence.
jeez. Are you okay, buddy? Oh, he hurt himself. Oh, yeah, he did. He hurt himself. Are you okay, bud? It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Are you okay? Are you okay, love? He's embarrassed.
What does that mean when he
He's embarrassed. He's sort of, he's sort of like he's shaking it off. Are you all right, buddy? Oh, he did hurt himself though. I think he probably got his foot caught in the fence.
You want to check him out?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Okay.
So what were we saying about? Oh yeah, so yeah, I had a bad relationship, and this person, when they would drink too much or smoke some weed, but I'm talking about not just having a casual smoke and drink. I'm talking about when they would get really wasted. There was a dark entity that would come in, and I could see his eyes change for sure. Yeah.
I wondered, what do ghosts and spirits do all day?
I'm not completely sure. I have asked. Some help others cross. Some apparently teach things on the other side. Some hang out with our animals and caretake, and some look after children. I think it's also soul ascension. So they're learning about different dimensions and if they're going to come back or not, if they're going to reincarnate or if they're not, or that sort of thing. And they are around us, but they don't, they're not going to sit there and, well, I always say that, people always worry if they're, watching them have sex and if they're, in the bathroom or something like that. And I was going to say that doesn't happen, but I have been in the bathroom and had somebody come in and visit me, and it's like, okay, not right now, thanks. So,
What do you believe in reincarnation?
yes. Hmm.
So when the body dies, the soul can move on to another vessel.
Hmm.
Are there some souls that don't make it into other vessels?
I think it's by choice. There's a lot of discrepancy in the spiritual world about if we choose to come back, if it's karma. I don't know so much, but I know that I've had past life regression myself years ago, and have had quite a few lives where I've been more male than female, but I've always been some sort of healer. So it continues. Actually, I can tell you a really quick story, but the person that was not a very nice person in the relationship that I was just speaking of, we actually had a past life together, and I had dreamt this dream over and over, but I could never see the man's face. It was always blacked out, but I could see his clothes, I could see the time period, that sort of thing. Once when we were together, we were having a glass of wine, we were just relaxing. He started to have a vision, and I had never told him about this dream, so it was him. At the time, we thought, what a great thing. We found each other again in this lifetime. In actuality, it was a bad, bad situation. I had apparently killed him, and he had come back to get me in this life. So,
Wowzers.
yeah. So,
Um, I'm not sure if I asked you this question already, but your abilities, they work on humans and animals.
yeah.
Do they ever work on inanimate objects?
Um, as far as like moving something or that sort of
No,
thing, or
a deck of cards or someone's watch. Can you pick up any?
oh, I can pick up. Yeah, I can pick up residual energy from things. Yeah, yeah. Some people have, when they've come to see me for a reading, they've brought something of their somebody that's passed or something like that. Yeah, not always, but yeah, I can. Yeah, energy stays, right? So, and sometimes it's like a cycle of energy. When people go to clear homes and things and they hear things, the entity is not actually there sometimes, but the residual energy is still trapped.
So what was it like being sensitive to these energies and clearing houses?
It was a lot of fun. Kind of spooky in a way. It would freak us out, but when we got, we'd take video and we would take photographs and things like that to actually see. There's that one where I told you the entity was on my back. You can actually see like a white sort of glowy something in front of me at one point, and then it was behind me. So it can be kind of unnerving, but it's also kind of fun.
Um, can people at home try to communicate with their own pet, and how would they go about that?
So I used to teach seminars about how to do that. So I would always really short form. You have to sort of sit and be calm and sort of empty your thoughts about anything else. Be with your animal. You can touch them. You can pet them. You just have to trust basically what your answer is, because when you ask a question, you don't want to think it's your imagination giving that answer, you know? So if you're looking at an animal that doesn't feel well and you're saying, you know, what's wrong with you? How can I help you? You have to trust what you get. And the animal will usually nudge you in that direction. But yeah, you can, for sure. I always tell people, talk to your animals, they understand you. You know, they'll get it. So I think when I did have an energy kind of come in, and it was it looked like, to me, it looked like, what do you call it? Like a gnome or something. It looked like and it actually, it happened when I was in a meditative state and I was lying down, and it actually, I could physically feel it on top of me, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I could hear laughing, and this, I could visualize this little, it was like a little evil entity or whatever it was. That freaked me out a lot because I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die at that point, and I don't remember how I actually got it off of me, but I did. I think I called in God or some, and asked for help. Um, there's been so many wonderful experiences. Like, I've had animals pass away in my arms, and I've seen the soul go from their eyes. Like, it almost looks like water moving across their pupil. Or they've waited for me to come to the barn or whatever, wherever they were, so that they could pass away. So I felt that, I felt the soul leave the body, which is a really interesting experience.
Do you think the military or the governments have explored these abilities in people?
Absolutely. Yes, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but yeah, I think there's a lot of lies out there. And yeah, there's been a lot of testing of people, and mhm.
Why do you think they're trying to keep it so much under wraps?
um, because they want to keep control of people. And oh, I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for these comments. I think I'm just trying to be careful what I say. I think that it's all about control. Yeah, I do. I think it's keeping people controlled. I think it's even, pharmaceutical companies and things like that. But there's been a lot of testing. There's definitely, governments know that there's UFOs. They know that there's other life out there. They know this, but they like to keep everybody quiet and sheep-like and following, you know, rules.
Go into a meditative state and then try to call UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had anything happen like this to you?
I used to live in Merrickville, and my ex-husband and I had a farm, and we were out with some dogs just, at the end of the night or something, and just taking them out for their last pee of the night. And we actually saw a couple of UFOs. They rose up above the trees and that sort of thing. And I heard very clearly, "Go back in the house," a voice. And I looked at him and I said, "We got to go inside right now." I don't know why, but we got to go inside right now. I don't know if it was to protect us, or I didn't feel danger from them, but I just heeded the words. I thought, well, we'll go back in the house.
Have you ever had any other encounters like that with UFOs?
I have seen them. I'm just trying to think where I was. I saw something here one night too. I'm pretty sure it was. It was blinking, sort of, and it was. I don't know what caught my attention, because I was in bed, but I had the curtain sort of open a little bit, and something caught my attention. And I'm very in tune to the animals, and if I hear them in the barn or something's, a scuffle or something's going on, I'm always have my ear open. So I think I got up and looked or something, and there was like a flashing sort of light that moved, and it wasn't a plane, for sure. Yeah.
So you did say dogs never lie. So let's say you
Mhm.
go into the barn and all the dogs and someone's done something they weren't supposed to. And then you start interrogating each dog.
Mhm.
Like the dog that did it, he won't try to get out of it.
No, they know. I know. They. There go my dogs. My parents, well, they met in England, and my dad apparently saw my mother at a, I don't know if she was waiting for the bus or the train, and my dad was a cyclist, a professional cyclist, and he went by and saw this beautiful lady, and he was flexing his legs at her, and that's how they met. And he asked her out on a date.
Those defined calf
Yeah,
muscles, right?
yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump to the penalty box. This
Okay.
is the last section I do right before the interview is over.
Okay.
And it's just quick questions.
Okay.
Back to back, and if you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer.
Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, dogs.
Favorite TV show?
Oh my God. Right now, Kitchen Nightmares.
Favorite movie?
Rocky.
Favorite book?
Oh my gosh. I am a voracious reader. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Favorite musical artist?
Genesis.
And your favorite form of social media?
I don't really like social media, to be honest with you, but I'll say, well, I like YouTube, but I would say Facebook, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
If you had to choose a last meal?
Holy smokes. Well, I'm a vegetarian. I think pizza.
Your favorite toy growing up?
I I had a doll named Susie, and I used to suck my thumb. And she had long red hair, and I used to take her hair and put it around my finger and rub it under my nose. So she had a mohawk, but because I sniffed off her hair. That's weird, but it's true.
Your favorite sport?
Cycling.
Sweet or salty?
Ooh, sweet.
Would you rather live in the country or downtown?
Country.
Car or van?
Van.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, I like them both, but I have to say I'm a Star Trek person, yeah.
Marvel or DC?
Neither, really.
Okay, who is your favorite Star Trek captain?
Picard. Yeah, I love him.
Okay, well, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, so